Hello everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for joining me today at this English live workshop. Hope you're all doing good. You're all staying safe due to the pandemic. Yeah, so let's start. We're going to talk about a little bit of the origin of English and some tips. I'm going to share some tips on how to improve your English speaking capabilities. We're going to look at why English is very important as a language and how to improve the language. Okay? So I'm going to start with a presentation, and each slide, I will walk you through the slide. Okay. English is a language just like any other language. It's a language like Tamil, Malayalam, we all know that. So English is spoken as the first language in 104 countries. It's the second most spoken language in the world, with 300 to 400 million people speaking the language. I think it is only after Chinese. Chinese is the first spoken, largest spoken language. So, an estimated 1.5 to 2 million people across the globe have some basic level of competence, either speaking or writing. English is the first language of 104 countries. First language meaning it is the native language of 104 countries. It's like how we have Tamil here, and in Kerala it is Malayalam, Karnataka it is Kannada. So English is the first language, the native language of 104 countries. And many other countries choose English as their second language or as their official language. So schools have been teaching English 16th century. When they started teaching English in schools, that's when it started developing. So how did English become so popular at that time? The main reason why English became that popular is because of the colonization of the British Empire. The initial spread and adoption of English as a common language was caused by the spread of the British Empire, which was the largest formal empire that the world has ever known. So when the British started increasing their colonies from their own territory to other territories, when they went marching forward, bringing in countries under their control, they started spreading their native language English to other countries. It's the influence and power stretched all over the globe as colonized countries on almost every continent. So wherever British Empire moved, they came to the Asian continent, they came to the African continent, they went over to America. So wherever they moved along, they started spreading the language. World War I appeared to add more colonies to the British Empire. Estimated that the British Empire covered between a quarter and a third of the globe. So the red areas marked here are all the British colonies where English became. So claiming independence found it useful to retain as a mediation to unite who spoke different languages and dialects. In World War, Britain colonization some started decreasing because countries decided to take independence and get of the British Empire. So India was, I think, the first country which did that, And out of that, a lot of other countries also started doing it. But then they decided to keep English as their main medium of communication, because in India, we have a lot of different languages. We have a variety of languages spread over the whole country. So when they wanted a specific language, for a common language for communication, they chose English to be the common language and official language. English is believed to be the official or semi-official language in over 60 countries in the world. Let's look at the incredible vast usage of English in various areas. The English is used in businesses, in science, in computing, in education, politics, and entertainment. So if you see at English in entertainment, many people right now in this day and age prefer to listen to English music, because English music is by far the most common and most liked music over the ages, over all ages, not just children or adults or youngsters, but even adults like English music. So businesses, when businesses are done over other countries, they choose English because it's the common language to communicate. Science, computing, education, everywhere. English is predominantly the most used language or the most preferred language to communicate. Over 90% of international airlines use English as a language of communication, even between speakers of the same first language. So, again, airlines, it's one of the common language. English is the common language used in airlines because, again, it's a language. It's easy to communicate. 2/3 of scientific papers are published in English, despite just half of these being written by English native speakers. Everybody, in order to get the reach what they need, it has to be done in English. If a paper were written in Tamil or in Hindi or in Marathi, it will not be reach. It will not reach a lot of audience. For it to reach a lot of audience, for it to become global, it has to be in English. Only then the targeted audience will be high. Half of all business deals are conducted in English. Popular music is dominated by English. So, we now saw why it is very important to know English, or to see or to learn English or to speak English fluently, confidently, because it is the common language of many countries. It is the most preferred language of many countries for every aspect in life: business, entertainment, communication, science, whatever, education, everywhere. So, how to improve this important language? Most of us would have learned English grammar as part of the English subject in schools. But using the acquired grammar knowledge to speak the language is where the problem starts. See, we all know English grammar. We know the tenses, we know the nouns, we know articles, we know everything. But when it comes to talking the language, when it comes to speaking or communicating to somebody in that language, in English predominantly, it becomes very difficult for people. It's just like any other language. When let's take ourselves back to our childhood, when we were babies. How did we start speaking in our mother tongue? First, we listened. That's what we did. When we were babies, we didn't start speaking in English. Speaking in our mother tongue. But we just listened to others talk to us. Our parents talk to us. Our grandparents talk to us. That's how we got words into our memory. When we were ready to talk, we started using those words slowly and steadily, letter by letter. That's how babies start talking. First, they would say ah, and then they would go on to say and then they would go on to say amma. Probably every language anywhere in the world, amma is the first word that a baby speaks. Or if it's in English, it's mummy or mom, whatever. So that's how you learn to speak a language. When you were a baby, you first listen to it. So when you want to speak a language, any language for that matter, you first listen to it and then you start practicing what you listened. And for English, phonetics is the basic part of spoken English. Knowing to pronounce every letter and word correctly gives the confidence to speak the language properly. There are 44 phonetic sounds for the language, which has to be mastered in order to speak fluently. Small details of phonetics and the letters and the sounds of the letters can all be learned one by one and mastered. Each letter has its own sound. Like A has its own sound. B has its sound like a B, like how you spell it in B, B-E-E-B. So each letter has its own sound. And when you put all these sounds of the letters together, you form words. And words put together, you form sentences, right? So the next part of speaking English fluently is by the LSRW concept. This doesn't have to be for English, this can be for any language. LSRW is the 4 skills of language learning, a set of 4 capabilities that allow an individual to comprehend and produce spoken language for proper and effective interpersonal communication. These skills are, the first one is listening, speaking, reading, and writing. In the context of first language acquisition, these 4 skills are most often acquired in the order of listening first, then speaking, then possibly reading and writing. So let's go over these one by one. Listening. This is probably the most important aspect of learning to speak English fluently. Right? You can start with listening to anything, even if it is the news. When you start listening to the news, you have to first look at the person who's speaking in front of you, even if it is the news. See how the person moves their mouth for every letter or every word, and how they pronounce every word. Listening, it means it's not just hearing. When you listen, your attention has to be completely on that program with no diversion or distraction. You have to see, or you have to see the person, you have to listen to whatever they are saying, even if it is like 10 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day. Sit and listen with concentration, no other distraction, 20 minutes a day. If you can listen to some program, it can be a news program in the TV, it can be a documentary, it can be a movie, even if it's a music video. And listen without distraction, you will be able to grasp the sounds of the words, the pronunciation of the words. The more you listen, the more these words get into your memory, and you will start using it slowly when the time comes. The second thing is speaking. Speak with someone every day. Someone who's very good in conversing English, speak with them every day. So you pick somebody who is good in speaking English. It can be anybody, your teacher in school, or somebody in your workplace, or your manager. It can be your teachers or your friend, anybody. Make sure that you talk to them only English. It is not a problem. Even if they make fun of you, I don't think anybody, your friend or no, they may not make fun of you, but don't be worried about making mistakes. When you let go of the fear of making mistakes, you will start slowly becoming confident. You will become confident and start speaking fluently. Mistakes are part of learning. Every day, make sure you speak with someone, not speak to someone, but speak with someone. There is a difference. You someone, you will also listen to the other person talk. When you listen, you will find out what they're saying, how they're saying it, what do they mean by it. There's a lot of learning that happens to speak. So every day, listening has to happen, speaking also happen. Both these will give you the practice that is needed to learn the language. The next is reading. Reading is the next concept. Read a book or the newspaper for some time every day. Again, just like listening and speaking, reading is the next one. I would suggest you to read the newspaper every day without fail. It doesn't have to be a article that you like or you don't like. Just sit and read the article, top to bottom. Newspapers are one of the wonderful ways where you can learn the vocabulary, increase your vocabulary, learn new words, learn new concepts, and whenever you cross a new word in the newspaper, keep it with you and when dictionary with you. So when you come across a new word, if you don't know what it means, go to the dictionary, turn around, find the page, find the word, and you make sure that you know the meaning of the word and also find out how it is pronounced. Usually the dictionary gives the pronunciation also there. You find out, or you can Google it. Sometimes you can Google it and the pronunciation is already, sometimes you can even hear the pronunciation. So that way you will increase your vocabulary. Words are part of English. Words are in any, even in the language Tamil, words. So the more words you know about anything is increase the confidence level. The more words you know, you will be able to speak to somebody in the language easily. Writing. The next one is writing. Write a page of something. It could be anything. Every day, make it a point to write. Writing. Again, listening, speaking, reading, writing. Every day, take some time, 10 minutes. Write about anything. It can be anything, something that happened during your day, something that you learned, something that you saw, something that you read anywhere, anything. It can be anything. Writing gives you a little bit more confidence. You write it and then you start reading it. Then you will also use that in use the words that you read, use the words that you heard somewhere in your writing. So that gives you more practice. So all these four things: listening, speaking, reading, writing, these four things are main concepts to increase your speaking knowledge of the language. Okay? So the more we practice the language is how you increase the confidence level. Just by reading alone, reading the newspaper or a book, you cannot increase your fluency or your confidence level. That will come only with constant usage and practice of the language, any language. So when if you talk about Tamil, when we learn Tamil when in our childhood, we don't go sit and read about the past tense or the present tense. It just so happened that we heard those words. இப்போ தமிழ்ல வந்து வருகிறேன் சொல்லும்போது present, இல்ல வந்துட்டேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லும்போது it's the past tense, வரப்போறேன் சொல்லும்போது it is the future tense. But you know all this. எப்படி தெரியும்? How do we know all that? Because we have been using it. We have heard those words being used by our parents. Without any thinking, you will already, you correctly use the tenses in Tamil because it is our mother tongue. We have heard those words a lot of times. We have heard our parents using that words. We have heard our teachers using those words. So that is how you know it is the tense, past tense or present tense or future tense. In the same thing, it's the same thing in English also. We know the past tense for go is went. We know the future tense for go is will go. But when it comes to speaking it, you or I mistake of the tenses because we are not so sure how to use the words went or will go, where to use it, when to use tenses. So these are the small things that spoken English classes will help you, where you will be able to differentiate which tense to use where, which word to use where. English is also a little bit of a confusing language. It's not confusing. It's the same thing like Tamil also. There are Tamil also. There are different confusing, not confusing, like words which have the same sound, but it is spelled differently. I will show you a presentation regarding that a little later. So when we start practicing the language using these 4 methodologies, listening, speaking, reading, and writing, we are very sure, I am very sure that you can improve the language as much as easy, with much ease as possible. Okay, I want to share another presentation right now. This is about the confusing words. Okay, confusing words. If a Tamil, we have a lot of different confusing words like that. I can think of is mella, mella. The sound is almost the same, but the letters are different. Mella solumbodhu it is the chinna la. Mella solumbodhu it is the periya la. Yeah, mella is slow. Mella is swallowing, right? So there are different sounds, but meaning marum. Meaning marum. It's the same thing here in English. The first is where, were, where. Idu moonume almost the same. It's almost the same sound. Where, where. But the difference comes with the meaning. The first where is what I am wearing. What I am wearing. I am wearing an earring. I am wearing. So that is where. And this where is the past tense, almost past tense for are. We are going. So is the present tense. We were going. Now a group of people, they are going. We were going. Underwear. This where, the third where, W-H-E-R-E. This is, it's about a place. Where are you going? So idu enga poringa nu kekkuradhu. So you see how the difference is. It almost sounds the same, but the difference comes in the meaning. So you have to be very, very careful in using these words at the appropriate places. The second one is to. See, it's almost the same. When you say to or TWO2 or TWO2, it's all to. So when I say to, you don't know which two I'm meaning, right? So other proper sentence, when I put it in a proper sentence, then we will know. If I say I have 2 pencils, then it is clearly meant it's TWO. So it's 2. This 2, I am wearing a sari too. Aprina, I am talking to somebody who is also wearing a sari, and I am also wearing a sari. So I'm comparing, and I'm talking to that person, and I'm saying I am wearing a sari too. Nanum potiruken. That's how it is made. Too. In the two, it is like are you coming to Chennai? To, and the two. So there are, this is the difference. The next is red and red. This red is the color red, and this red is the past tense of read. So the difference is in the meaning. Red and read. I'm sorry, red and red. The red is the color and red is the past tense for the word read. Again, red. Lead, led. So this lead and led, when lead is leading a group, led is the past tense of that same word. Or I can say lead, L-E-A-D is also a metal. So I can call this as lead the metal, or led going the past tense of lead. So this is again is a very confusing word. Principle. Principle is like values and the mother or principal. Even the principal is the head of an institution, of a school. So the difference is in the spelling, but the meaning completely changes. Lose. This lose is coming loose. This is about the loss. இது வந்து லூஸா இருக்கிறது, இது வந்து ஒரு லாஸ்ட், தொலைஞ்சு போறதை பத்தி சொல்றது, அந்த லூஸ். So the word meaning changes, but the spelling is changing, but the sound or the pronunciation is almost the same. So these are the almost a few of the confusing words. There are so many words like this. We find that even in our native mother tongue, but English varumbodhu it is very hard to comprehend these words. So when you start using the language more, when you start speaking the language more, when you start listening to that language more, only then you will understand the difference of the words, difference of these words, difference of how they have been used, where they have been used. அந்த மாதிரி difference பார்க்கும்போது மட்டும்தான் you will know where to use these words. Again, same thing here again. There, they are. It's the same. Thereங்கிறது அவங்களோடது. There is about a place. They are is talking about a group of people. They are going somewhere, or they are going to a party. Stationery. Bear. Bike. Cool. Roll. All these are different words, but they sound the same. If in the bike na, it can be a bicycle, or it can be the cycle. The cycle or the two-wheeler bike. You can anything. Cool is, you can say cool for the weather is cool, or you can say the apple is cool, or the juice is cool, or anything. So the same thing. Accept, affect. You have to know the important meaning of these words and use it at appropriate places, so you will get the meaning of the word correctly. Accept, affect, effect. A lot, illusion, already, altogether. Everywhere it sounds the same, but it has different various meanings. The same thing is also here. Apart, breathe, capital, sight, complement. All these complement here, PLEMENT, complement, COMPLIMENT. So when you start knowing the difference of these different meanings of these words, only then you will be able to use the words correctly at the appropriate places. There are so many different words here. I can keep going on because a lot of these words are available in English. Okay, I want to show one more presentation. This is vocabulary. Vocabulary is another main part of English speaking. The vocabulary is the words that you know. It's the library of words that you know. The library, the books, vocabulary is the number of words you know. The more number of words you know, the more confident you become in speaking the English. And how do you increase the vocabulary? That's only way to do that is reading and speaking and listening. No other option. You have to read, and it can be anything, as I said earlier. Reading a book, an English book, is the main contributor for getting the vocabulary increased, your vocabulary increased. And the vocabulary, the words can be used in different places. See, the first example I have here is very sorry, apologies. See, you can tell someone, I'm very sorry for doing this. But if you use the word, I apologize, my apologies for doing this, அப்படினு சொல்லும்போது the better word, you are using a better word instead of saying very sorry. Very sorry is a little primitive. So adukku badala, if you can use apologies, it gives the person who is listening to you a better opinion about you. They would think, oh, paravaliye nalla English nalla words la use pandranga. So when you use better words in your communication, that's when you will tell, or you will show, or you will imply that you are very confident in the language, and you are very fluent in the language, and you are very well versed in the language. Okay, the next one is very happy. Very happy, you can say I'm very happy, but you can also say I am very delighted. Delighted, it gives a more happiness appeal to it. Yeah, delighted, it's like a much better word. Very sad. Very sad is depressed. You can also say I'm very sad, I feel like crying, but you can say I am depressed. So this is how you increase your vocabulary. You can synonyms, antonyms, when we say synonyms of a word. So apologies can be very sorry, I am sincerely sorry அப்படினு சொல்லலாம், or I apologize. அதே மாதிரி I'm very happy, I am delighted, I am excited, I am energized. And the மாதிரி different words. When you use different words for different areas, you will tell people that you are good in that language. So I'm very hungry. You can just simply say I'm hungry, or you can say I am starving. I am starving, it is a higher level of hungriness. In English, you can say I am starving. Very good. Very good can be beautiful, lovely. You can say wonderful. You can say awesome. You can say super. You can say super. You can say amazing. See, these are different words which also has the same meaning as very good, but you're using higher level of words, higher degree of words. The superlative, when we call it superlative words, right? Superlative சொல்லும்போது the level of the words meaning goes up. So beautiful, lovely, wonderful, amazing, awesome, all these words are means the same. Very good. Same way. Very clean, you can say neat. Very weak, you can say frail. Very tired, you can say weak. Very thirsty, parched. Nobody would have heard the word parched anywhere. I mean, it's a very different word. Thirsty, but you can also say parched. That is very, very dry and thirsty. Intelligent, very smart. Knowledgeable, you can say knowledgeable. You can say brilliant. So very smart and you can say very intelligent. Very tasty, delicious, hot. Very hot is burning. Very cold is freezing. You can say the Chennai weather is very hot right now. Adukku you can also say Chennai weather is burning. Very hot is burning. Very cold, freezing. Very sleepy, drowsy. So When you start using better words, you will imply that you are good in that language. So knowing words, knowing, increasing your vocabulary comes only with practice and reading more books. Happy. You can also say amused, pleased, glad, right? All this says happy. Depressed, teary, upset are words to explain sad. Mad, angry. Angry, anybody can say I'm just angry, but you can say you're mad, you're irritated, you're furious, right? All this explains the word angry. So when you want to learn a new language, we all know English grammar in schools, but when you want to learn to speak the language fluently, the only way to do that is practice. Practice every day. Every day you have to make it a point to read something, to listen to something, or to talk to somebody, talk with somebody. That will give you the confidence. That will give you the fluency that you so require to talk in that language. It's like when you if you go to a new state where you don't know, say if you're going to Maharashtra, you don't know Hindi or Marathi, and you have to survive there. Aprina, what do? We have to go to the local people, go to the market, learn the language daily. Market போயிட்டு அங்க இருக்கிறவங்க கிட்ட you can marketல கடையில you want to ask for something அப்படின்னா அவங்க என்ன சொல்றாங்க, பொட்டேட்டோக்கு என்ன சொல்றாங்க, டொமேட்டோக்கு என்ன சொல்றாங்க, அதை கேட்டு கேட்டு தான் நம்மளுடைய லாங்குவேஜ் நாலேஜை ஏத்திக்க முடியும். அதே மாதிரி தான் இங்கிலீஷ் ஆல்சோ. இட் இஸ் ஜஸ்ட் another language. So improving how to speak that language comes only with practice and listening. Main aspect, listening. Every day, spend some time, listen to lot of things. You can listen to anything. Padam paakradhu, movies is also good. Nowadays movies are coming with captions, so you can watch American movies or English movies, and you can read the caption along with the movies. So when they make the sound, you sit and read the caption. You will know how to pronounce. So that is a good way to learn American English. There are English also has dialects, different Englishes. America, they speak a different English. London, Britain, they speak different English. Australia, if you go down to Australia, they speak a different English. It's all English. It's all very important. But only thing is the dialects are different. Same way like how we speak a different Tamil in Chennai. Coimbatore people speak a different Tamil, or Tirunelveli people speak a different Tamil. So the same thing. Even in English, there's American English, British English, Australian or Canadian. So they all speak the same language, but different dialects. That is what dialects are, different ways of speaking the same language. Say, for example, in America, the lift that we use to go up and down the floors in tall buildings, we call it lift. But in America, it is called an elevator. So it's the same meaning, but the word completely changes. Anga vandu nobody calls a lift. It is called elevator. So that's how you learn different dialects of the same language. First, you learn the language, and then learn the different dialects, different words used in different parts of the world. So in conclusion, I would like to say English is a very important language. It's a global language. Even in India, it is our official language. So speaking in that language helps us to communicate with different people of different languages in different parts of the world. If you go to China, they speak predominantly Chinese, but how do we communicate? Because we don't know Chinese. So The English is the only way we communicate with them. So it is a very good idea to invest some time learning the language English and speaking it. So the more you speak, the more you gain knowledge in the language, gives you the confidence to go around anywhere in the world. You may be right now, you can be a student, or you can be a software professional, or you can be at any level. Everybody, we have all learned English in school. There is no doubt about it. You know, we know all our tenses, we know our nouns, verbs, adverbs, everything. We all know all that in school. But coming uh, in the usage of those things is where the spoken English comes. You need to know how to use those words, where to use the grammar, and that is where a lot of people make mistakes in speaking. When you want to know how to use these words, how to use the tenses properly, that is where spoken English classes come in. So these, you can practice all these things at home. When you go to classes, you take any classes, spoken English classes, there they will teach you to do all this, use the tenses, use the grammar that you already know in the proper way to help you speak the language much better. Right? So I would like to conclude here. Thank you all so much. I hope this was a little bit enlightening as about the language and about the usage of the language. So thank you all so much for joining me on this Sunday morning, for getting to know a little bit about English. It's a vast language, and the more you know, the more you learn, you will just be it gets interesting, it gets better. So you start thinking in that language. So I hope you all agree with me, and thank you all so much again for joining me this Sunday morning. Thank you.